Welcome to Hermit Woods, where there's a story in every bottle. We're live.
What?
Again.
We're alive?
Hey, look who's here.
We're alive. I'm alive. Barely.
He's frozen. The rest of us aren't, though, so it's not the internet this time. It's just Ken. He's broken. So cheers, Chuck.
Cheers. Yeah. Cheers, Frozen Ken. We have the
He
Ken.
could do that for a long time.
We have the Ken.
I've never seen him do this act
Frozen
before.
Ken thing.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Hey, we're live.
Yeah. You're frozen.
That was pretty good. You should.
Did you get abducted by aliens there or something?
He should do an act, like,
He did.
put a hat out and collect some money on the streets of New York. He'd make a ton.
He should
with
stand
this.
in front of the winery.
Yeah, that's a
He could
good
dress
way.
up as a winemaker.
Hey, are we live?
That'll help cover some of the costs. Ken, I think you should do this act out in front. You should. You do that really well.
The pause
Yeah,
thing.
you should give that a try.
People could take pictures with you.
No,
and
we
stuff.
would. My video feed was stuck.
It was.
This is just an avatar, so
He's
I'm being
up.
transported in digitally, and I'm not really here.
Down the rabbit
No,
hole
it's-
we go.
that's
Thank
a-
you, everybody, for
That's
joining
what
us
you get
for
with
yet
cranberry cider,
another
just so
Monday.
you know.
Cranberry cider. The new
If,
batch.
Magical elixir.
If you give me just a moment to go through the basics for all of you new listeners here,
now you get
we
to
would,
freeze also.
We that's why he was freezing. Oh, now I get it.
I think we all have to freeze at the same time to make it work.
So let's get through this and we'll be done, and you can do whatever you want. So if you're joining us for the first time, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, the subscribe button is right below Ken. And if you're watching us on Facebook, there's a subscribe little bell, and you hit the bell, it'll subscribe you to our channel. If you subscribe, you will go live or you'll be notified every time we go live, which is almost every Monday at 5:30, and then occasionally from some random spot on the planet that we might come live from, say, Narragansett Bay or a ski
Damascus.
area or Damascus sometime soon. So
One in Virginia?
yeah.
Oh.
So if you are also joining us for the first time, we'd love to know if you're here. So make a comment in the comment section on Facebook or YouTube, and we will see your comment, and we'll know you're here. And if you have any questions, add those as well, and we will try to answer your questions while we're live here with you on the show. If we don't get to your questions during the show, we will do our best to answer them after the show. And if you like this broadcast, or you know anybody who you think will enjoy this conversation, please share our broadcast with your friends, like the broadcast yourself, and help us spread the word to others on Facebook and YouTube of what we're doing here at Hermit Woods. And I think that's it. We're covered.
Oh, that was
You
short.
guys can
Now,
start
can we
talking
do it?
again.
Can we get a thumbs up? Can we get
We
a
get
thumbs
up? No,
Pop
it's
on
not
the
doing it
screen?
anymore. We haven't seen that in a few weeks.
It did. I know. It's strange.
You can turn that off somewhere.
So I have a
That's fine.
question because you asked
Have a
about
question?
questions. Christine was
here.
on right away, and
The algorithm.
stuck.
We're back!
We're back.
Woohoo! Oh, look at this. We got a bunch of folks on right now. Christine is here. Christine, you are amazing. You're always the first one to get here, and we really appreciate it. And Matt's
That
here.
might be a new challenge.
Matt-
Who gets here first?
Matt is, yeah. Matt's here from the
boat.
boat.
Yeah.
He's in Amsterdam.
Ah, Matt.
That's
I saw a post.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
And Priscilla's here. We just
Late
saw
at night,
Priscilla
yeah.
last night at our club party. We'll talk about that
Yes.
in a minute.
Yep.
And Ken was asking, Christine, it seemed as though you see, or somehow you see that Marika is on, but we don't. And we're just curious, how did you know Marika is on, if in fact she is? You said, hi, Marika, so we assumed she she was there somewhere. That maybe
I
you
know.
see her. So let us know if there's something we're missing here. And Chuck wants to know how the volume is. So if anybody has any issues with the volume, let us know.
You
I
got
think
that right way around. Right?
Yeah,
We can see the color.
You set the
We can
mic
see
up
the
right.
lights.
Yeah.
I have the volume set over here, and we're off and running. So nobody said anything. So we're good.
Excellent.
Let's see. What is Priscilla
What are we talking
saying?
about?
Thinking of you as my memories on Facebook. We're all about sweet Noah. I will never forget.
Oh,
And Marika is here. Hi, Marika.
Hey, great.
there's Marika.
And the volume is fine. We're off. We did it.
Wow.
So why are we here today? Why are we down here in the wine cellar? Canning line. Yes.
line.
Look at that. That's a pretty cool
at what?
looking. Yeah, I know. Chuck's right in the middle of it.
You know what's strange? There's no Hermit wood sticker on it.
What?
I just realized that.
I'll bet you'll fix that.
We're gonna fix that.
Look at this.
American
Canning.
line.
This
You doing the Vanna White thing?
For you, for $9.99.
these
You
cans
can buy a can of cider.
came right off of that canning
I
line.
wish they came off like that.
Just a few days. That's a little upgrade.
Yeah,
That's-
they come out like
You need
this
a little
is
more
how they come
expensive
out.
canner to get them to come out like that. But this is the newest edition.
And it's awesome. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
Does
I've
one-
watched you guys use
Ben
this.
has become one with this machine.
You'll
He's
can
got it.
one can an hour?
No, this thing cranks along. It's surprisingly
It's
fast.
10 cans a minute, right?
Yeah,
10
we were
cans a
doing.
minute?
We're doing almost 12. We're doing 11.7.
11.7
Yeah.
cans a minute.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Ben's
good.
commercial 5-head did 36 per minute. Ironheart's 5-head does 40 per minute.
You're kidding.
This does almost 12 per minute.
But
and
Iron,
what held it
but
back?
when
from-
Ironheads come out, they look like this.
No. The Ironheart came out like this.
No, it came out.
Oh no,
labeled.
it came out labeled.
Yeah,
That's right. It came out labeled, but not snapped.
not snapped. Yeah.
But anyway, this thing rocks, and it's got the same sort of format where every can gets purged with carbon dioxide, every can gets filled up to the top, every can gets a blanket of CO2 as the lid drops on it, then it gets seamed, and then it gets washed, and then it puts out on the tray.
I watched you guys doing it, and I was impressed. It really did
fantastic.
crank. You guys were moving. It was
I couldn't keep up later.
hard for the two of you to keep up with it. Ben was moving fast,
Yeah.
checking things, getting the cans reloaded.
Yeah.
You were getting them off the belt as they were coming
Right.
out, and it was fast. If you want to see a clip, there's a little reel on Instagram that we created that shows this full operation with Ken and Ben running the thing. There'll be more posts next time we do a run, but these cans did come off of this line just a few days ago, and that is what we're sporting here. Some of our cranberry
Isn't
ciders.
that pretty? Look
It's
at
a
that.
beautiful batch.
I just have always been enamored. The
This
first
is-
time this came off the line, and we made it, filtered it, and it had just this beautiful sparkle to it. And it's a very simple, minimalist sort of product. It's just a fresh pressed apple cider and cranberries from Cape Cod that are co-fermented and then turned into this. That's it.
It's pretty special.
That's really
What
awesome.
a handy vessel. I mean, this vessel is nice.
That bottle is the classic. That's how we first displayed it, sold it. We still sell it that way. Each can is half a bottle. So there's 2 cans per bottle.
2 cans per bottle?
Actually, almost.
Oh.
For a while,
'cause-
these cans were actually 375 milliliters,
Oh.
exactly half a bottle. This is 750 milliliters.
Yeah.
Now,
Or 12 ounce.
the government allowed us to put it in a standard 12-ounce can, even though we're a winery. So a 12 ounces is 355 milliliters. So the 2 cans, this is 40 milliliters less than that. 710 instead of 750.
So, well, there it is.
That's that's one ounce. That's it.
Yep.
A little over 1 ounce.
This grab and go, easy,
Yes.
cans. This is just beautiful, heavy glass. Great
You can't
story.
shotgun that though.
You cannot shotgun that.
The bottle.
Who would shotgun the can?
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
Who would do that to
I'm
a
not talking about that.
That
I'm
was-
not talking about how you
So
know,
moving right
so
along.
excited about
we
making
have,
that baby run perfect that someone would do that. No way.
Nobody in this operation would do
No,
anything
never.
like that.
Not
Never.
Or
recommended.
video it.
Not recommended by Hermit Woods to
Yeah.
shotgun this.
So let me share the screen here. Let me see if I can get this share screen.
So excited because this canning light opens up so many
Oh, you
possibilities.
can can
for us.
other things?
Yes,
What?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
I'm trying to find
In small batches.
Yes, indeed.
In a can.
We've remapped our bright tank, so now the bottom bell is chilled. It's about 200 liters to get the carb stone saturated. So
you can do
we can do
200
about
liter
a
batch?
25 case batch, about the minimum.
Oh wow, that changes the game.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
we have a few ideas depending
so
on
let's
what comes.
let me
what
share
comes
some of the
fresh.
potential new labels that
I
people
love
see.
these new labels.
Here we go. We're going to share. This is a new label. This is actually this will be my first label that I've designed for Hermit Woods because we've always brought other people on board. And so this is my creation for Spring in Session, which we already have. Some of you had it. We have it in bottle.
Yep.
And we've had it in bottle for a few different times over the years.
Yep.
But now Spring in Session is coming out in cans, and this will be the can label. Anybody know who that is? I can't see the comments right now because we're sharing the...
I know who it is.
actually, I can see. There it is.
There you
you
go.
can see. So,
Now,
so
do
yeah.
people still see a full screen?
Let's see if anybody
Oh, yeah, I
knows
guess
who
they
it
do.
is. They do. So
Yes.
let's see.
He's an incredible man.
Anybody know who it is? I don't see any comments yet, but
Marika
maybe
might.
they're there. Marika knows who it is for sure. That's. Let's see.
He makes incredible mustard. So why he's on the label of a spring
He's
in
the
session,
mustard guy.
He makes mustard, but there's no mustard in the.
Oh, but we
That
sell
can
his
beverage.
mustard by the ton.
We
but
do sell and use his mustard.
we do, and we use it in the eatery, and we use it, and we
But
sell
we
it
buy
on the shelf.
something else from him. It's kind of his halo there.
Yes, he's the coolest guy. We had him on the show not too long
Yes.
ago,
Yes,
so,
we
so
did.
so all of you should
Which was fun.
recognize him for having been on the show.
Oh.
But
Steve Cebulski.
Steve Cebulski, and he's a banjo player. He's a
banjo
farmer.
player.
He's a pig farmer. He's a
Yep.
rhubarb farmer, and
He
he's a
rides
mustard
an
maker.
old Harley. That's how he delivered some of the rhubarb
And
to
let
me
me get this.
last year.
You put him on the label because you put his mustard in the wine.
No, Chuck, that's what we were saying. There's no mustard in this one.
Oh, there's no mustard.
Right.
You didn't
No.
notice
Rhubarb.
the leaf.
Rhubarb.
Oh, rhubarb. I
Rhubarb,
love rhubarb.
yeah.
What a great thing.
That is a rhubarb leaf behind his head.
That is a rhubarb. I thought that
Yes,
was just a
yes.
halo.
It looks like a halo, but it's a rhubarb.
It's a
So-
rhubarb
See that? It's
halo.
he grows. Some of the stalks I've received from him are over 3 feet long.
Holy guacamole.
Just the
That's
stalk.
amazing. Wow.
So the next label we're going to feature.
Yeah.
Anybody recognize who these three characters are?
Oh, man.
I'm sure you do.
Bunch of bozos.
Uh,
They look like they're having fun though.
Yeah,
They're
Priscilla,
working hard.
Priscilla said it's Colonel Mustard.
Pipe in the winery. Thank you, Priscilla.
Priscilla.
Rhubarb leaf. Hope he's not a stalker.
Yeah.
She's on her game tonight.
All right,
She's
all right.
on. She's
Somebody-
firing on
somebody-
all cylinders.
Somebody slept well this one.
So this is our honey lavender cider. This is brand new.
Brand new. This is Ben's creation.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, it was. Ben is making wine here with us. He's been here a year and a half now. Fantastic addition. He's such a great guy. Very competent and very creative. And he's been a commercial brewer in his previous life. Now he's a fermenter and maker of all things. Ben and I made a batch of beer this morning. We bottled some cool wild blue that's going to be coming out. New crazy wild batch.
What's the label for
Specialty.
that?
And we're going to be working on that.
We are.
Yes, we are. It's another
Yes,
one.
well, you are.
And so a while back, we were talking, and Ben had seen a little jar of lavender on the bench. And so I told him the story behind that. There's a person in Plymouth that grows lavender in her field at her house. And she came by and met me here and brought some samples of lavender. I said, that's great. I would love to make something. I made a lavender heather mead years ago when we were still at Bob's house. And so I had the heather sitting there, and Ben asked me, he says, I think that would make a great addition to a cider. And we'd use a little bit of honey to balance it out and have that fresh lavender. And I said, that sounds great. let's go over and meet this woman and talk about lavender and sample the different lavenders. So we went over to her place, got lavender, bought out all the lavender that she had, these particular varieties. They all smell different. Some smell a little bit more like you'd expect in a lavender soap, which we didn't want.
You didn't want, no.
And some seemed more herbal, like in a gin or something like that. And that's what we wanted. So we bought the lavender and did some bench trials here. And then we met up with Troy Hall from our honey producer. And we have a whole bucket of honey that's going to go into a batch of cider that we got from Apple Hill Farm. And we're going to blend in the lavender. A spiced product, which Ben has done with beers and I have done with meads and other things. It's all about freshness. So we're going to add the lavender and honey about 2 to 5 days before we can.
Wow.
And so it's going to infuse it, and then we'll
It'd
pull
be
it out.
fresh.
We'll pull it out, filter it, can it, and then consume it, crush it in the next few months.
Shotgun it, even.
When is this coming out?
The labels went to the printer today,
They did.
and well, they're in
Wow.
for review for proofs.
Okay.
I haven't gotten
Well,
receipt from
We
them.
have one more label.
I know, but
Do we
time
wanna pile
clocks
it
are
on?
moving forward. Yep,
You said you gave it to
next-
the end of April.
I know, but the next label I can do a big run on because that's going to be for the Mount Washington. So I'm not worried about that one.
So let's talk about that. And by the way, Matt just asked if we own the equipment, and yes, we do
Yes,
own the
we
equipment.
do.
It is
Thank
our
you.
canner.
Yes.
And as Ken said, now we can can as small as 25 can batches, which is
25 cases.
25 cases. Because that's really good, because there's a lot of stuff, fun, creative, experimental stuff that you do that is on such a small scale
Right.
that
Right.
we never get to introduce it.
And
now we
what's
will.
nice about cans too is it's such a convenient size for a single consumption, especially in our beer garden, on the patio, at home on the deck, on the lawnmower, whatever it is, out on your boat.
Yeah.
A can is a really handy thing compared to a bottle, and the cans really lend themselves to those fresh products
And they're very recyclable.
and extremely recyclable.
Crushable.
Very crushable.
So the next
Greg Parley's
the next new label, and I have to tell you, this label is not finished.
That's
so
your second label that you created.
third, actually.
Oh, third that you
This
created.
is my third. We're on 3 here. So this is a partnership. This is our Winnipesaukee sparkling Winnipesaukee Rosé, which you all might remember in the can had the fish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we will still have the fish can.
Yes.
For sure, because that's fun, and we want to continue that. But we're going to be selling our Winnipesaukee Rosé on the Mount Washington boat. And so, how fun! We thought, let's create a label that really is about the Mount Washington. And that boat has been sailing the waters of Winnipesaukee for over 100 years.
Over 100 years, right?
And and they invited us to participate in this way, and so we're excied to create this label. That
When
will
do you
be-
anticipate showing that over to them to see what?
I'm
their
almost
thoughts are?
done. I have a little.
Great.
I need another couple hours on it. Do some more tweaking. Anybody have some good ideas? Let me know. And
Can you
so
put a snail in there? Because the water wheel kind of has the shape of a snail.
There is a
So
snail
if you
here.
could sneak a snail in there, in the shape of the boat.
Yeah. Well, if you want to design the label,
No,
we'll send it your way.
No,
Oh, you want me to do it?
no,
Okay.
You go.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not done, so we'll see. So there it is. Those are our 3 new canning labels, and we and the fish Winnipesaukee Rosé is coming back, and also
And
the
Dogo.
Dogo. But you guys aren't going to get to drink that because as soon as it comes out, Chuck's going to
Chuck,
take
okay.
all the cases home with him and put
And
them
this
on
is
the
a
boat.
really good batch. I've got 500 liters of it waiting back there.
All the Dogo is mine.
70
everybody.
cases.
Just forget about it.
70
Just forget
500
about it.
cases. Forget about
70
it. Forget
cases.
about it. So when you want some Dogo, you see me. No, I opened up a can of Dogo that was canned. When was the last can? About 3
That
years
was
ago?
very old. It doesn't.
So I opened
That's
it
the
last
thing
night.
about cans. They need to be fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wasn't very
Well,
good.
this is
God,
why-
it
this
was-
is why
it
we-
was a good study in canology.
Yeah.
Can
Canology.
2 years.
No.
It
So
gets
you're
metallic.
what I just heard him say is he didn't finish all the Dogo that he had.
No, I bought this. Actually, I bought this at the coffee shop in.
Oh, just recently?
Yeah, just recently. It's like it shouldn't be on the shelf anymore, so I just bought it.
Yeah.
So, and then but I'm not waste not want none.
Yeah, of course not.
So I'll just have to.
You can always
do
just
something else.
shotgun it.
I could shotgun it. Imagine, no, you know what? Don't do that at home. It's 13% alcohol.
Now, does that mean that you put it on the top of a fence post? And
That's what it
No,
means.
Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah.
That's
what I
yeah,
thought.
You're good.
Yeah.
No, I
You're
think
right.
I'll
So-
save it for other purposes, like flavoring cookies or something.
yes, that is a good. So this freshness issue is part of the reason that we have a canning line. Because when we were canning before, we when we were canning before, we had a mobile canning line, and
Yes.
they came and they set up in the morning, and they
And we would do 500 cases.
and we do 500 cases in one shot.
Out of our big bright tank.
Was that the total? Like the biggest day? You did more than that one
The
day.
biggest day we did like 550 because we did one skew out of the little tank and cranberry cider out of the big tank.
Right? And that was the minimum to have them out.
Well, they have a minimum fee to come here,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a 20th of the cost of one of these machines just to show up,
Yeah.
let
So-
alone the cost
So
of the
that's
cans, the
essentially a
materials, and the
minimum
rest of it.
for it's not worth
Right.
doing it unless we can produce 500 cases.
And ideally, then all those 500 cases would sell in 3 months.
They'd have to in order to
keep
stay
them
within the fresh range.
Right.
So that was the problem, is that we couldn't move as much cider or wine as was required.
We're a small craft business.
Right.
So
If we were
having
just
a
Can't work at
small
that
craft canning line worked perfectly. We tested the waters. Everybody was going bonkers for this stuff. I was bottling 3 or 4 batches of this a year, and it got a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So the cans made another way to put it out there, and we didn't know anything about the world of canning, and we learned about the world of
We learned a
canning
lot.
and some of the challenges of the world of
Some
canning.
challenges.
And now we are very happy to have something that's appropriate for our scale and for what we want to do. And this lets us, Ben and I've got some ideas. We've got a strawberry cider, we have a kiwi berry cider, we've got all sorts of products that we want to make fresh.
Strawberry cider?
Yes. A specific variety of strawberry. We had 8 different types of strawberries that showed up.
And
And-
we also talked about the strawberry rhubarb sparkling
And strawberry
possibly
rhubarb.
going into can at some point,
That's right.
right?
Cirque
Another
de can.
label. We need another label.
Cirque de can.
Cirque de can. It's gonna be another label.
I
I'm
already-
glad because you're making some really great labels.
I already know.
You already know which
what
one
the
you're gonna do?
label's gonna be.
You do? Which
Strawberry rhubarb is coming out in a can real soon. Stay tuned.
Really?
Yes, I got a great idea. Anyway, we have a question from the audience. Drew LeBlanc wants to know, does
Hey.
the wine or cider taste different in a can than it does in the
That's a
bottle?
great question. That's a great question. And I have to say no in terms of the realities of taste from a chemical, scientific, demonstrative format. From the human
Ken.
Can you guys still hear me? That was a great question, Andrew.
Oh, you vanished. But are we back? The question is, are we back?
This is
Are we back? I mean,
We
we're
should be.
still here.
It says my phone says it's
My avatar hasn't
We're good.
stuck.
I think we're good.
Are we good?
We
Are
did
we
go
back?
out and we came in.
Okay.
That's why.
So you just
So
missed
let
the
me-
most
you're back.
brilliant
let me
thing
go-
Ken has
let me
ever
go
said.
back.
He
Yeah,
can
I'll
never
never
reiterate.
repeat himself.
So,
to
and-
Drew's question.
Great question. The liquid is identical in both containers. They come out of the same tank. They go through the same process. The canning process and the bottling process are the same. They're both done under pressure, under cold conditions. They get sealed up. The human perception of consuming something out of a bottle or consuming out of a can is different, and it can affect your appreciation of the product.
So,
If
so
you
let
drink
me
it
add to
out of the
this.
can or drink it out of the glass.
Let me here put a finer point on this. If
Yeah.
you poured the cider out of the can and out of the bottle into 2 glasses side by side,
Two identical glasses.
2 identical glasses, you would not. I don't think anybody on this planet could perceive a difference.
Unless they saw where you were pouring it out of.
No,
Blind-
no, of
in a
course.
blind
You're
tasting,
talking
you're
about the difference of the taste and a difference of perception. And you're absolutely right. Perception-wise, it is going to skew our impression.
Right.
But actual characteristic in the liquid, no change
Not at all.
whatsoever.
Right.
The other
It's
thing
just
that,
like a screw cap and a cork.
but another component that a lot of people don't take into account is if you drink that cider out of the can, it will be a very
That's
different
different.
experience.
Just like
First
if you
of
drink
all,
it out of the bottle, it's different.
yes, your mouth will be on the aluminum. You're going to perceive difference just because of the fact that your mouth will be resting on aluminum as you're drinking it. And there's no way for the aroma of that cider to come free from that little tiny hole in the can, so you don't get any opportunity to understand the product as it smells, as its aroma. So
you don't get to
it will
see
be
it.
different.
I mean, that's, you lose the beautiful, I love, this is my favorite product to see on our deck or over in the garden.
Oh yeah,
It's a great
just
color.
It's
beautiful
just
color.
a gorgeous product, and there's no color additive, there's nothing that goes into it. This is just cranberries and apples that grew in New England that are turned into this wonderful liquid.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's
really
just
So-
perfect choice of word. It's
Oh,
brilliant.
it is brilliant. It is actually.
Marika wholeheartedly agrees that drinking out of a can is different. And that is true. Drew, if you drink out of the bottle, just tilt that bottle back, or you drink out of the can, you will have a different experience. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But,
It's a great question.
but by the way, drinking out of the can with this isn't that either, because
No.
I did
Oh,
last
no,
night.
I like
no,
it.
you did earlier today.
I
I
did,
went up and
yeah.
got glasses. You'd already popped a can.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah, I
waiting.
already finished a can by the time you brought the
Yeah,
glass
so
over.
so this drinks well out of a can.
Oh, yeah.
Some things don't, like Petite Blue. When we have that, we have a still wine
That's
in a
better
can.
into the glass. I
It-
agree.
it's really not pleasurable for me to drink that out of the can straight.
No, no.
This, no problem.
No problem. Because you're used to drinking cider out of a can.
How
There's
about,
a-
Yeah.
how about Dogo? How do you prefer it? In a
So I've
glass
had-
or out
no,
of a can? Yeah, I'm sure
I've
you
had
had it
glass.
every which way.
No, I've done a lot of study on this.
I'm sure you have.
Subject matter.
Do you remember any of the results?
Well, we write them. No, we didn't
It's
write them.
blurry.
No, I don't. So that's why we need more. That's why all
That's
the
why you need
Dogos
more
are mine,
Dogo.
because we have more studies to do with it. Yes, I've had it out of the can. I don't like it as much. And part of what I don't like about it isn't the flavor. It's that
aroma.
it's so crushable that you'll have a
The
swig
can disappears in
and
no
it's a
time.
quarter bottle of wine, and then you're starting to get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just such
This
a
is
strong.
why we have no real evidence of the outcome
That's
of
why
a
it has
scientific
this is-
It
experiment.
needs more data.
I need more data.
So Drew also asks the reason for the less shelf life on the can, and this is a great question as well.
That's another great question.
These
So-
cans are made out of aluminum, and what's interesting, we actually, one of the challenges that we had is that we had pallets of these cans sitting in the warehouse, and because of a flaw in the canning process, literally a pinprick is almost even too big of a description for most people. A hole so small it was microscopic appeared in one of the cans because cider actually ended up on the outside of the can as well as the inside, and the acid in the cider eats aluminum.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, I didn't know this beforehand, before we went through this process. We had to send a sample of our liquid to the Ball Jar Corporation in California to test the applicability and the shelf life of this liquid inside a can. So, aluminum cans on the outside are shiny aluminum. On the inside, they're shiny aluminum with a coating, a protective coating on the inside of the can that prevents the liquid, the high acid liquid, from touching the aluminum. So if there's any bit of cider on the outside of the can, it slowly
It's toast.
eats through the aluminum. And if you have a stack of cans, let's say 100 cases on a pallet, and one can eeps out a little bit of cider and it drips down on the can below, that can is gonna spring a leak and spread its cider,
Before
which
you
are
know
gonna
it.
go to each one, and pretty soon you have a pyramid of destruction going through your entire pallet.
Hundreds and
how do we know
hundreds of
that?
cans.
This sounds like experience you've had.
Yeah.
Well, this won't be happening
I'm trying to
again.
forget that. I wasn't drinking Dolgo. I was only drinking this, so I kind of remember it.
Yeah, no, that was not good.
But that's a really important thing. So the lining on the inside of the can is rated for our products for a year. But really, the products that we have are best consumed within a few months anyway. So we really don't want them out there longer
So
than that.
Drew also states, so the best way to drink this is in a bottle, and that's actually not true. The can is so handy. It's so flexible. You could take it on a boat. You could take it to the beach. You could have it by the pool. The can is a great vessel to drink out of, and it's highly
do
recyclable.
Sell a ton of these things because glass can save forever. That's why wine that ages for long periods of time is put in glass. And this is just a really great looking product. Even people who come in and we tell them, this costs you $15, this costs you $20. This is equivalent of 2 bottles of this.
Yeah.
People go, okay, I'll take a bottle. They still want the bottle because the bottle looks cool.
That's a
It's
cool looking
great.
bottle.
It's a great looking bottle. You go through the process. It's like champagne. It's that whole metric, and that's part of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
When you undo this and you open it up and you share it around with some friends, you've shared a bottle together.
Yeah.
And there's something. It's the same liquid, but it has a different impact.
Drew also mentioned about the higher alcohol content in a can, and alcohol does not have an impact that I know of on the aluminum. It is the acidity.
I think
that
it's
we're
just
concerned with.
the acid content.
Yeah.
So why these don't last forever is because they're lower alcohol beverages. So a wine is 13%. That alcohol is also a preservative with tannins and the other thing that's in there. That's
That's a great point.
So these aren't designed. The things we're putting in cans, except for like the Petit Blue, aren't designed to last forever. But the cans will allow molecules of outside to go on the inside over time, right?
I don't think so. I think
Or the inner lining wears out, or whatever it is.
it can, yep. And
It can.
no pun intended.
Yeah.
But it's really about just the freshness of that product.
Right.
And
So-
even in the bottle,
so it's just not
gonna fall
intended.
apart over time.
You don't have a wine cellar full of cans.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Since
You
the
might.
canning,
If
You might.
I might.
You
Yes.
might.
If
Don't
you
go.
did, would you have to keep them on the side to keep the pull top?
No, they're under.
I think you said this already, but the canning company said 1 year.
1 year maximum.
That's all
Maximum.
they're guaranteed.
Yeah. So we need. So you guys, we got a couple hundred cases. Come on, we gotta get in here, get these cases.
No. We did 50 cases, 60 cases.
Oh, 60? That's all that whole pile was?
Yeah, 60 cases.
60
which
cases?
is perfect.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we get down to 20 cases, we'll
Fire it up.
can some more.
Yeah.
And so we'll always have fresh stuff rolling out. It's gonna
And
work
these
great.
are at the North-South 93
Yeah, now,
They will be.
now these are
They
going
will
back
be.
out.
back out,
everywhere.
because
Yep.
those sold really well on the interstate, because they're convenient for people to stop
Sure.
and stock up after they're done driving to where they get. And
Yeah,
then
they
drink them.
wouldn't drink on the way.
Right. Yeah, it's not you, right? So, because that all makes sense. So anyway, so they'll be back on the shelves, and this is a.
Why are we drinking out of cans with no labels?
That's a good question. Why don't you explain why we have cans here with no labels?
These were short fills. So when you can product, you want to make sure that you filled it up the full 12 ounces that's on the can.
How could one know that once you put the cover on?
It's interesting because there's no visual
Right.
measure of what's in that. But the can has a weight based on the density of the liquid and the amount that's in there. So we measure out 12 ounces and we weigh that.
How do you determine the density of the
on a
liquid?
scale. We measure it with a hydrometer.
So it's that
So this
precise.
this is 10/14, and so we take that and we calculate it. The same when Ironheart would show up, they'd do the same thing.
And you weigh the can itself.
And you weigh the can. So as it's coming off the line, we're weighing the cans.
Empty.
No, full.
Yeah.
So they've filled up, but if it's low, then it's a low fill. It gets set aside,
And
we
that
don't
means we
bother
get to
putting a
drink it.
label on, and then we drink those.
So why aren't there more of these? Low
Actually, there
fill cans?
were quite a few. Well, we
Somebody-
were figuring that
Oh,
out.
somebody's
Didn't
already-
you take a case home?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yes, you did.
That's right. Forgot
And
that.
there's a case in the back over there with a few cans missing.
Not anymore.
Well,
Not
what's,
anymore.
what's wrong with all the headspace besides it would be not a price point?
Well, it'd be kind
It's
of
not the pri-
inappropriate
yeah,
to
it
sell
says
it
12
with
ounces.
less
It's
liquid.
not 12 ounces.
The
It's just,
headspace is not
but
an
did you
issue.
think they'll not last as long because they have
No,
more
it's
oxygen?
CO2 in there, it's fine.
Yeah, so
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
And Drew points out that it's cheaper to actually drink out of cans that don't have labels on them. Good point, Drew.
That's why we don't label them. We save the 10 cents a label to do that.
Yep, that's
It is fascinating. You know, I never knew any of this stuff as a geologist. I just,
Why is
I
that?
just
How many
opened up a
rocks have you
can
canned?
and drank
How many rocks
the
are canned in
beer
the
or
world?
cider that I. But it's fascinating to learn about
Whoa.
this process and the things that we all just take for granted. We consume, and everything is that way all through the place. You know, you go anywhere to the supermarket and you see all those different products on the shelf. Every one of those products has some sort of production procedure that they follow. And quality assurance and labeling and
Actually, so
oversights and
that's been some of the most exciting part of this whole journey is learning and discovering how things happen, how this stuff is how it comes to life, and
Yeah.
it's you know, it's often, you know, that discovery process can be a struggle and can result in loss. As
I have
we've
a
had.
lot of respect for people that run small businesses.
Yeah.
It is
Well,
not,
it's not
an
easy.
thing to do. It's so many challenges.
It's still nonetheless that process of discovery is fun and it's creative and it makes you think, and it's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So when I said on the how many rocks have you canned, that triggered a whole new idea for us.
Oh, here we go. Hold on, I gotta get another one.
We need more cans out of cider.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need
that's
more cider.
that is not good.
We have a big announcement to make. We haven't made this public in any way before. You are hearing it for the first time today, unless you were one of the lucky few who got wind of it in the tasting room around the time that it happened. So we have some big news to share. I'll wait till Ken gets back. And
I think this short fill's got some real problems.
Oh yeah, got it all beat up too.
I don't know what's actually in there.
not much.
Not much.
You find out what's in a can when you open the can.
So we'll have some big news to reveal.
What's some big news? Rocks
really
in a can?
big news. You had to do with rocks.
I know, that's what I heard you say something like
Why
that.
would one have rocks in a glass?
Oh, yes. Especially with some Tamworth gin on it.
Yes, it's official. As of Tuesday of this week, Hermit Woods Winery now has a spirits license. Woohoo! Gin and tonics in the loft. Martinis, my friend. Yeah.
I only drink gin.
I wonder if
from
Chuckarita
my-
is going to be on the menu.
Chuckarita.
I only
We're
drink
gonna have
gin
Chuckaritas here.
Chuckaritas.
a certain distillery in New Hampshire.
Tamworth.
We're gonna serve Tamworth.
Yes,
Tamworth.
it's going to be, actually, I'm really excited. Tamworth is partnering with us, and it's going to be a Tamworth-inspired bar. That doesn't mean we won't have other products. In fact, you saw me on the show the other day with a Bar Hill shirt on.
Oh, yeah, they make great
They make
gin.
some great gin. The Bar Hill's going to be here for sure. And but Tamworth will be our sponsor. They're going to be, the majority of our products will come from Tamworth, which is great news. We love what they do over there. They have a lot of creative stuff. So we're going to be.
And not just the stuff at the state liquor store. They've got a myriad of things.
Unfortunately, we can't tap that.
Why not?
Nope.
Why can't we? But we can't buy from them and serve
Nope.
here.
You know
Really?
the rules.
I don't know the rules. I'm a geologist.
Yes, remember we learned this.
Andy
It drove us
Day.
actually nuts when Andy Day
Ruin,
told us the
yeah.
only way I can
He has to
sell
buy
this,
all his liquor
I have to
from the
buy
liquor
it
store.
myself from the liquor store.
Well, can't they sell it to the liquor store so we can buy it?
Yes.
They could, and if we had some special circumstance with them that really inspired them to want to do that. But that's a process to get it in. They have to get it in and go through the paperwork to get it into the liquor store so that we can get it out. And they said they'd be willing to do that for some of their products. So there will be a possibility that some of their specialty stuff will end up in our hands because it's going to be a Tamworth-inspired bar. We're going to put their name right over the top.
Right.
It's
So,
it might actually happen that way. But nonetheless, we're going to be serving. And
It'll all be
Kaylin,
done legally. Don't you worry.
you bet.
But
Kaylin is so excited. Our new chef, if you haven't met our new chef
Sweets.
yet, Sweets. He made this blew my mind. I just got back from Italy, as everybody knows, and
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the drinks that I had in quite abundance in Italy is a Negroni, which I've already been a big fan on. Some of you have probably seen. I did
Oh,
a
yeah.
how to make a Negroni video about 5 years ago during COVID, and so I was all excited about drinking Negronis in Italy, and I get back and Sweets is whipping up some ideas in the kitchen. He comes out, I got it. We got a Negroni made with Hermit Woods melange.
It's made with melange
And it-
out of the aronia berry.
It
It's
tasted
perfect.
just
Red
like
vermouth.
a Negroni.
No way.
It's awesome.
Yes,
It's really
it's a good Negroni. It's solid. It's
Yeah.
oh, it's delicious.
We'll have to have one.
Yeah, no.
Where
well,
is-
I'm
where
sure
is this
Sweets will
Sweets
be.
person?
Yeah. We will see him on
He's
Wednesday.
recuperating.
He's recuperating.
He had too.
Yeah.
He went home that night
It
and
was
had
a
a few
busy
too many
weekend.
Negronis.
He had a few too
We
many.
were so excited about it. So yeah, so Negronis. So that's big news. We're really excited. That's coming for our dinner service. Initially, we may do more than that in the long run, but right now we're going to make it available.
We need some of his Aperol spritzes out on the deck.
Oh, I have a feeling it will be on the deck, but it's going to be a few weeks before we have a full-fledged program. You may, if you come in the next couple of weeks, have an opportunity to try something. He's going to put a couple samplers out there to give it a test run, but the full bar isn't going to be set up probably till Memorial Day, and from
Which
there
is
on
an
out.
aggressive timeline anyway.
Right. Yeah, it's just a few weeks. We gotta set up a whole bar. We gotta get glassware. We gotta get
As
bar
always, we have
equipment.
a whole bunch of stuff simultaneously happening.
How does that happen?
It's like we can't do it any other way. I get tired sometimes, and then I wake up and go. It happens again. It's just right, don't you? You must.
I get tired all the time. That's but you know that's the fun of it. I always make this analogy. You know, I'll go and snowshoe up the side of a 5,000-foot mountain. You want to talk tired?
Oh, I
You
bet.
haven't experienced tired until you've snowshoed up a 5,000. You know what? And I don't have to
I
be
did
paid
1,000
for that.
feet with you
Yeah.
on the trail one
Yeah.
winter years ago, and that was enough.
You don't have to be paid. You don't have to be compensated in any way. You do that for what you call joy and fun and pleasure, and it's not work at all.
Self-mutilation, I thought.
Yeah, well,
Something
that's,
like that.
some people would call it that, but it's a lot of fun. If you're having a great time and what you're doing having a great time makes you tired, well, that's what having a great time costs you.
I know.
You get tired every now and then, so that's how I
I know.
look at
We
it.
were here
I
with
do
club
get
members
tired.
last night, which was
Yeah, it was a long day yesterday, but it
great.
was a fantastic night. I'm glad you brought that up because we talked about that in the beginning and we didn't get
Yeah.
back to it. If you don't know, and I think most of you do, although not all of you were able to make it last night, and we're sorry about that, but we have decided that from now on, and we had talked about this in the very beginning, and I mentioned it last night. We had always wanted to have a special release day, and our special release day made a lot more sense when we didn't have a kitchen, because most of the people here for that special release day were here for the club release. And then as the kitchen grew and our audience grew, more and more people were here just to be here, just to experience Hermit Woods, and they weren't here for the club release. So the party sort of got blurred together with all the rest of the guests that were in the tasting room. And so we petered it out because it didn't make sense to have a celebration for club members that just about anybody who walked in the door got to participate in. But we didn't have the space to do it any other way. And then at the Christmas party last year, we decided, we had such a great time. It was good to see. We always talk about how fun it is to see everybody together at that event. And we decided from now on, when we release our club, we will align that with the day at a similar time as the release, where we could have another
Yeah.
club party.
It worked great. We
It
had
was
a
a
bunch
great
of people
time.
in here. And
I
they-
really had fun.
They lined it up. They came and picked up their club release, and then they went upstairs and had food and drink. and we
Priscilla was
poured them-
here.
We poured them all the wines that are in their club, as well as some special library wines.
Yep, nice.
And it was a great night.
And Priscilla won.
Priscilla won the 2017 Petite Blue
Did she
Reserve.
take the 17 home?
She took the 17 home. That's
yeah.
right. Another club member took a 2012 Petite Blue home.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That 2017, if you remember from last week's show, that 2017 Petite Blue was opened up for our vertical tasting, and 15 people, and Ken and I in Sweets, all unanimously decided that the best drinking wine of that night was our 2017 Petite Blue Reserve. Although,
Could we have like a reserve?
what's
Yes.
that?
Well, like I could make the Petite Blue Reserve. I need to make Petite Blue Reserve at a bigger volume now. That's what happened. Back in 2017, I could do 3 fermenters and I could make a batch. But now I gotta make Petit Blue in these gigantic tanks because we sell a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I can't make it the same way that I made back in 2017.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous amount of work, but it paid off. It was a really nice one.
You could theoretically do that.
I'm figuring it out
again.
though. I got this 22 Petit Blue Reserve might be pretty close.
Well, the other thing you could do is you could start, do a third of it in the tank, and have 2 or 3 tubs to do the multiple presses at different times. It's extra layers of work, of course, but
There you go.
it is a way you could
That's how
combine.
I can get the volume.
You could get the volume that
I can
way.
get that and 3 fermenters simultaneously.
Yeah.
Great.
And
That'd be good.
you maybe you could manage it with 2. I mean, maybe you don't need 3 or 4 cycles. Maybe it's 2 cycles, an early press and a late
Well, I
press.
do 2 cycles now.
An early press and a late press. I don't know.
We'll
There's
see.
probably
We'll
a way
figure
to
it
figure it
out.
out.
We'll
but
figure it out.
I don't know that you need to do
I
much.
got a lot of
the
projects.
reserve.
I got a lot of projects. I wanna
Honestly,
do.
we already decided this though. The 2017 was the best drinking reserve of that night, but the 2017 was 7 years old.
Right.
Your 2020
The 20 Petit Blue Reserve.
at 7 years is going to easily
be.
compare with that 17 that we drank that night. So I don't think we need to worry too much about it. You've already brought that wine to another level based on the learning that you achieved.
I know.
in
I
that
gotta get to
experiment.
another level.
You will.
Yeah,
Well,
you do. Always.
you keep working
Gotta
at
figure
it.
it out.
Yeah.
Got a lot of projects going.
You know, I just realized projects going. We gotta plan another Hermit tour.
Oh, out to the gravesite?
Yeah.
Go. Let's do it.
I'm excited about doing that
It
again.
should be dry enough out there now. We had a
Is it?
really wet spring,
I think
though.
I'd give it a few more
I'd give
weeks.
it a, I'd give it
pretty
more
soggy
reason.
out
All the
there.
water level's really high.
I know, the
Yeah,
lake
water
is up
table's
above
way
the docks out here.
Yeah, is it? Oh my God.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
We've had a lot. You know, it was the wettest. It was the second wettest winter in recorded history. You heard I said that? Recorded history in this part of the world.
You've gotten sharper,
Sharper,
more technical, scientific.
even with cider.
We should ride our motorcycles up through some back roads when it's really wet and muddy, because maybe there's some trees down and stuff to.
There are a lot of trees down.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah,
of trees
it's
down. That could be fun.
Yeah, we might not have 3 partners anymore either. Keep that up.
There might be an extra motorcycle around.
Might be an extra. Well, there already is an extra one.
Yeah,
so
there
no.
is. Maybe two extra.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's some big news. We've covered a lot of ground today.
covered a lot.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
We didn't talk about motorcycles at all.
It's amazing to me, which is what we've been talking about for 3 hours leading up to
Last
this.
3 hours. That's pretty impressive.
But it is amazing to me that with all the stuff we have going on, it seems like there are times when we would chill out a little bit and not have as much stuff going on, but it never seems to happen. It just seems to keep growing and more stuff and more ideas and more
So,
fun. It's
Do you know what
it's
part of
like
that
this
is?
big
You know what part of that is?
What? You?
No.
Me? Him?
No.
Them?
That's
Me.
well. That's certainly there's a component of that. But what part of it is that you got Ben on your team. Ben's excited. You've infected Ben with the same level of
He
excitement.
was already infected.
Well, no, but here
Right.
he's now
Oh, no,
he's now
he's totally-
impassioned
oh, yeah.
by what you started, and he's
Right.
now in some way shepherding into the
Oh
future.
yeah, it's great.
So he's excited in a way that you were when you first started here.
Yeah.
So he's now pushing the envelope, and so you're on the
Honey
team,
lavender side.
and you're pushing the envelope with him. And the
Yeah.
same upstairs, we have Sweets.
Yeah,
who-
Sweets is on.
I got to
fire.
tell you, there's never been a time in all the years we've been here that there's been anybody else in this place. Actually, this is not true. If Marika's still on, she'll understand this. Marika was probably the of all the people that have been with us
Sure.
on this. She was as passionate about what we were
Right.
trying to do as we were. And second to Marika is our new chef.
Yeah.
Kalen is as passionate about the kitchen side of this business, and not just the kitchen. He loves to get up front. He was up with the club last night
yeah,
and helping club members get there once. He's loving the whole thing. So
Yeah.
this is why the pedal's still to the floor, because even though you and I and Chuck may not be pushing the envelope every day,
Oh no,
our team is.
He twists the throttle pretty damn hard.
He's doing his own thing. He has the latitude to.
No, I was talking about you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about Caleb. I thought we were talking about Caleb.
And we were, but then it segued a little bit to you. So.
You gotta be sharp.
No.
If you're
No,
depending on what you're drinking at home, to keep up with this, you gotta be sharp.
I have a geriatric motorcycle. I thought we weren't talking about motorcycles.
We weren't. I could just,
Just throw that in there.
it could be geriatric, but you could still twist the throttle.
I have an old person's
You could
motorcycle.
twist it as much as you want with those
Well,
tigers.
if we
going
want to
by.
tie motorcycles into this, I can't wait because Sweets has a two-wheel
This
vehicle
is gonna be
too.
hilarious.
So we got a
I
video
can't
coming
wait
for
to
you
see
guys.
that.
We can't wait to do it. Sweets has got his little two-wheel vehicle. We're not going to
And
disclose.
Kyle's got a beautiful Harley.
Oh,
that
we
he
got to
rode
include
the other
Kyle
day.
in this
For
too. Yeah,
sure.
we got a great
Yeah.
video we're working on. So I don't want to tell anymore because it'll be fun to reveal the video. But it will be fun. It will be fun.
He was telling me too about the video he's putting together from our visit to Stoneface, and it's really just great. All of the excitement, all the activities for sure.
Drew says he's surprised you had a BMW motorcycle.
I did have a BMW. I
did?
love my BMW.
R60?
It was a '74 R66. Great airhead, opposed twin, black. Just the greatest bike. I look all the time. I want an R90. And, cause it had disc brakes out front, the
Oh, yeah.
R60, I had to plan the stop signs up there. I gotta start hitting the brakes to stop. So you can imagine if a deer ran out in front of you. Forget it, you just hit the deer. But the R90 had disc brakes. And, I keep looking at those, so.
And
You should get one.
that's not the. Drew had another comment. He wanted to know what the price of membership is.
That's a great question. Into the motorcycle riding group or our wine club?
Motorcycle riding group, obviously.
Wine club.
I know.
Pretty
The
sure.
wine club. There's no cost to be a member. However, every member who joins starts off with their first 6 bottles of wine.
It's
that
actually
they get 20%
The
off.
simplest answer to this question is a membership is a commitment to buy 12 bottles of wine from us a year that we choose for you. That's the cost of membership. And you get those 12 bottles at the
20%
club
off.
price, 20% off.
Right.
That's all we ask of you. We do ask that you do make the commitment for 1 year. Once you've committed to 1 year, you've received 2 shipments of 6 bottles each, then your membership will continue until you tell us you no longer want to receive 6
Right.
bottles from us.
Right.
So you could be a membership. There's no fee. There's no cost
Right.
to join. You just get to be part of the
And there
party.
are a lot of benefits.
There's a
As
lot. So we
all
get
these club members that are on the
yeah. So real quick, club member benefits. You get 20% off all our products in the bottle or can.
All the
You
wines.
get 20% off wine by the glass if you come in and dine with us.
Yeah.
You get 20%
Or
off
yeah, anywhere.
any at the garden.
Yeah.
You get 20% off our shows. If you come to see one of our music shows, our listening room shows, or the Songwriter Roundup,
That's right.
you get 20% off the ticket. You also get our club party now every 6 months.
Every
you get to
release.
come and participate. And
If
we,
you have a group of friends that comes with you, they get 20% off their tasting.
well, club members get complimentary tasting every time you come
Complimentary
in.
That's
A club member
That's the
and
biggest
a
thing.
guest gets complimentary tasting. And if you want to do a tour, club member and a guest gets complimentary tours.
yeah.
Bring friends, they get 20% off. So it's a great deal. If you like our wine, you buy it with any kind of regularity, or you enjoy visiting us and sampling our wine,
Right.
it's a no-brainer. You really do get a good value.
I mean, we have hundreds of club members, and a lot of them aren't even close enough to take advantage of all of the benefits. But I know Drew lives nearby. He grew up on the street where I used to live
Oh.
in Laconia, and we used to play with my son Max
Who grew
years
up there?
ago. Drew did.
Oh, dude.
And it's great, Drew. It's a great format. If you enjoy our product, it's a way of joining the gang, really, of what we do here.
Motorcycle gang?
No, I asked that question before.
No.
I think you were sleeping at that
Motorcycle.
moment.
He's had a cider.
Yeah.
He's on his,
He's
on his
smiling,
fourth
I know.
can.
This is Dolgo though.
Oh, this is still good.
It's just pink Dolgo.
Pink don't good. No, this is completely different.
Right.
Although very similar.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And it's
Wow.
also 6:28.
All right. Well, I think we've
Wow.
We've done it.
Great.
We've come to the end of another hour with the Hermits.
You know, and this is funny. We're sitting in front of a
Yeah, it's
forklift
kind of
with a
funny.
pallet on it.
Nobody notices you.
But
Would
no
you
one knows
move
that.
the camera. Tilt.
Yeah.
Go show the. You got to do it. Yeah, I guess that's fine. So show what our table is before we sign out.
This is
It's a forklift.
Nothing but the best.
it.
We love our forklift.
Oh, Deb Lucky's on. Hey,
Hi,
Deb.
Deb Lucky.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great to
Fantastic.
see you.
You
Awesome.
know, Deb, we talked about those beautiful cans that you designed for us, the Dolgo and
The cans are coming
the
back.
Winnipesaukee Rosé and all of those. And this one,
Yep.
right there, the
Cans are
little
back.
graphic novel of the Hermit.
And for all of you who don't know, Deb Lucky is the creator of our new website, which we've had an enormous, wonderful reception for. Everybody just absolutely loves it.
Yep.
And Deb is also responsible for numerous can labels and bottle labels. She's the creator of the cider label from the beginning, and
Yep.
also a children's book artist.
Yep.
The Lunch Witch. You can pick that up at your local bookstore
Or in our tasting room.
or in our tasting room.
Yes, indeed.
Thanks for joining us, Deb, and thank everybody else for joining us. We appreciate your commitment.
Have a wonderful
and,
evening.
lunch.
Drink as much cider as you possibly can. It's
And
good for you.
We have a new show next week. I don't know what the topic will be, but the
Oh.
week after is a fun show. It's listed on our website. Go look it up, and it's on Facebook as well. We'll
I'll
see
have to
you.
look that up.
You'll have to look that up. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
We'll see you soon.
All right.